All right. Hey, welcome everyone. It's about 1 minute before we go live on New Year's Day. As you can see in the background here, we put our virtual background up here with the calendar because today is the first day. So it gives you kind of a look of how many days. So let's go ahead and get our Facebook Live set up here. We want to wish everyone a happy new year. And so we will get this set up. And so while we're preparing this to go live, we will get this little program started here. So let me just we'll just add in our title, and we will add in, let's see what else we need to add in. We need to go back here. I need to add in a little bit about what we're going to be talking about, just so people who may come after this will know what we're talking about. So here we go. All right, we've got that all in there. We don't have any red marks, so the teacher has given us a good grade, but I'm sure there's still spelling and grammar mistakes. But, you know, why change now? So let's go live. All right. Okay, everyone. Hey, this is Rick Kaufman here, and it is January 1, but let's make sure that we are showing up on our news feeds and all those good things. So let's go here and pull this up. So hopefully everybody had a great New Year's, and we are recording this. So if you show up later, that's fine. But anyhow, looks like we're all set. Everything's working fine. Hopefully, if you can hear me, let us know. But nobody's there right now, so nobody's going to let us know. Everybody's probably still in bed asleep if they stayed up watching the ball drop. I've been up since 6 a.m., but I've got my coffee. So we are at it here this morning. Water safety, drowning prevention does not take a day off. It knows no season. It knows no holiday. There will be people that will drown and lose their lives today. And so we have to be consistent and show up every single day if this is what our mission is all about. So, hang on a second. Let me mute myself here on my phone because I don't want to get any feedback. All right. My goal for 2020 is to grow some hair. But you know what? Let's take a picture of my hair now, and let's see at the end of 2020 if I have less. Stress, all those type of things. But I think it's a genetic thing. But, yesterday on New Year's Eve, we talked about goals. We talked about things. I had a prepared script I went through yesterday. Today, I don't have one. We've got our coffee, and it tastes really good this morning. But we're going to talk about goals. But here's the biggest thing. Something that I looked at here was we have started a new year, but we've also started a new decade. I've spent some time reflecting back this past decade. I personally myself, there's been a lot of changes, not only in my life and the people around me and my family and everything else, but also in my mission, my careers and choices. And, when I began this decade, we had a store, we had a brick and mortar business. Shortly after that, we, went into some other businesses and done some virtual online business. And also my wife had a tragic horse riding accident, became disabled. I sold that, or basically shut that business down and sold off the assets on that, and went in and was an over-the-road truck driver, things like that. And that wasn't really satisfying, but did what I had to do to pay the bills. And then when I looked at that, I stumbled back into the water safety because when I was on the road, really, I didn't have much on my free time. It was just, spend looking things up in the internet, and I started doing some research around water safety, and I noticed the numbers really hadn't changed as far as the numbers of drowning since my daughter drowned in 1993. And that really began to cause me to start to look. And so consequently, about 4 or 5 years ago, we started reaching out to people. We got crickets. Nobody returned our calls. Nobody returned our emails. And that just, and as a business person, I just don't get that. I just don't get it. This is my work ethic. I show up every single day. I've always, I mean, until you accomplish your goal, until you accomplish things, I just, I just don't understand. And I'm going to speak very honestly and openly here, and because I think we need to hear this. I have seen pictures of some of the advocates and some of the organizations and stuff, out. I'm not saying we can't enjoy life. I'm not saying we can't have vacations, but I've had discussions with these people, and they've reached out. We've worked with some of them. We've been helping some of them, and they have indicated to me that their funds are down. They're not raising as much money. They're not doing, their business is down. They're struggling. They're not placing any safety products. They're not, the industry it's a tough place. I mean, business is tough. I don't, if you're a nonprofit, you're in business, and it's not easy. If you're in the process of setting up a new a nonprofit and you don't have that complete yet, it's not easy. And people will beat you down, and people, I mean, that's just business. That's just the way of life. Don't take it personal, because it's business, and so you have to separate the two, and that's a huge problem. But I looked at this decade, and here's the thing I want you to ask. This is what I've asked myself, and what has set me on my mission here. What I want you to do is look at the past year, 2019. And also, I want you to look at this, decade of 2010. I don't know what we call it. This will be the 20s. What is this? The 10s? I don't know. I don't know what this was called, this decade. But anyways, when we look at the past decade, and you look at your goal as it is with water safety, okay? Ask yourself this question. Whatever your goal is you want to accomplish in 2019, and I want you to carry that goal and that mission out for this decade. Ask yourself this question is, why hasn't it been completed? Why have we not reached those goals already? We have new organizations, new people coming into the water safety community. Some of those we're working with, we're helping, we're doing some things with them. And some of them are just out there floundering, trying to find their way. And there's more and more coming all the time, because there's more and more lives that are being lost. And so that is a tough question. And that is an extremely tough question to ask, especially as we're starting this day off as the first day of 2020, January 1st. And it's a tough question. But I think as we start going forward, and this being the first day of the year, I would suggest that you do one thing today. One thing as far as water safety or drowning prevention is concerned, and do something. Put that out there. Talk to somebody. Who can you talk to today? We're going to be spending time with family and loved ones and things like that for a lot of us. I myself will be probably watching football and whatever else is going on. The Rose Bowl parade. I always watch that. But my family is doing their things. We have a large family, so everybody's doing their thing. So I'm kind of looking forward to kicking back and relaxing a little bit, and getting my life and maybe meditating and looking at some of these things that I'm looking to change in my life. Number one of my goals is to be grateful, and have gratitude. And the other thing is to work on the toxic relationships that I have in my life that has caused me a lot of grief and a lot of other issues, to get that out of my life. So that's another big part of something that I'm working on. But anyways, I want you to look at this going forward, is make this year 2020 and this decade of the 20s. So I saw somebody post something that they went to a party that was the Roaring 20s. But you know, before I want you to make this decade as no regrets, no regrets. And what I want to finish my thought because I get going because I don't have a script really. I'm kind of just winging this here because it's New Year's and that's just who I am. I'm a winger. But anyways, there's people that I mentioned that there was people that have reached out to me asking for help, things like that, and they're posting on social media pictures of sitting on beaches and sitting on things like this, and nothing wrong with that. I do that. I do that also, but in many cases, these are nonprofits, organizations that are soliciting, asking for funds, asking for money, who have shortages, who are struggling, and they're trying to grow their reach. I just want you to ask I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Don't want anybody take offense to that. It's just my personal opinion. I have to question that because as a steward of a business and as a steward, and part of that is being a good steward of our money and good steward of our finances, what's the message that we're sending? It's not a water safety message. And then many of these people come back and they will start off, and I will get hit with Facebook campaigns and Facebook invitations to donate by the tens and maybe hundreds, probably this week, starting the new year. But and a few of them will probably be from these people. Nothing wrong with that. And if you're one of those people, I don't mean any ill will. I don't mean anything by it. I just want you to think how, the mission is so important. And when we look at this past decade, ask that question of why haven't we hit those goals? Maybe, just maybe, we've been doing the same thing over and over and again, but expecting different results. So I believe that 2020 and this decade is a decade, and this is a time for change. Okay. This is a time for change. We need more boots on the ground. We need more people, more advocates. We need more people doing the work. We need more coaches. One of the things I'm looking at is, why we need advocates to be water safety coaches, going out, not a consultant, but just coaching people on what they need to know, educating people on these things, and then create the new future that you're wanting to have. Create the new future that you're wanting to have in your life, in your organization, and around water safety. In the past, when we look at the past, I have so many regrets in my life. So I have to let go of those regrets, and because I stepped away from water safety, and I have seen other children drown. I've seen other people lose their life the same way my daughter did, and it's very difficult to see the news feeds and see stories of children and people that drown the same way. My virtual background behind me, you see the calendar for 2020. That's how many days we have this year to make a difference this year. When you think about it in terms of your mental, it sounds like, wow, the whole year, that's 365 days, 24 hours a day. But when you see it on this calendar behind me, right back there, I wanted to hit home and have you say, there's not a lot of days left. There's not a lot of days. When you look at that, a lot of people drown. Something I looked at here, and let me pull this up. I looked at some statistics from 2010. Okay. Unintentional drowning. This is on the CDC.gov. These are water safety, water injuries fact sheet. And in 2010, the failure to wear life jackets was the number one culprit for people not, that had drowned. But this is talking about, this is something that when we look at the drowning statistics, as far as the numbers of drowning, they back out. They back out boating related, other type of water related accidents, because those are not necessarily unintentional. Okay. And it's key to understand, but a drowning is a drowning nonetheless. Okay. But here's something that's ought to really, really shock you. In 2010, the U.S. Coast Guard received reports of 4,604 boating incidents where 3,153 boaters were injured and 672 of them died. Mostly, 72% of those boating deaths that occurred in 2010 were caused by drowning, with 88% of those victims not wearing a life jacket. Okay? That should be alarming. We all know the numbers of drowning when we talk about it, but that in 2010, and there was roughly 1,000 children that drowned in 2010, and we're still, under the age of 15. Okay, I think there was like 366 children that drowned in 2019 in backyard pools. Okay, so I mean, we do track some data and everything. But here's a little something from poolsafely.gov that talks about 356 annual average numbers of drowning deaths in pools, spas, children ages 0 to 14 from 2012 to 2014. 77% of the deaths involve children younger than 5. They typically occur the same day or within a week of an incident. African American children between 5 and 19 are 5.5 times more likely to drown. I mean, these are all out there. You could just type in the year, type in what it is that you're searching, and you'll find it. You'll find what it is you're looking for. You'll find what it is that you're wanting. So that's why not only this year, 2020, but this decade. Here's the exciting part that really causes me to be focused, because here it is. As we focus on our goal for 2020, creating change and creating what we're working on here at the Kelsey Code, and helping you achieve your goals and holding you accountable to those things, and partnering you up with other people in the industry that can help you reach those goals that you want to do. That's what we're putting together here. So here's the thing. So as I look towards the end of this decade, this is June 15th to 2029, my goal is to save 185,000 lives from fatal drowning and over 1 million lives from non-fatal drowning. This is a worldwide goal. There's roughly 360,000 fatal deaths, I think it was reported in the world. All right, so that's where we're coming up with that number. And we know roughly 5 people go to the emergency room to receive treatment for a non-fatal submersion. So that puts that number, multiply, basically almost 400,000 by 5. Okay, that puts it about 2 million people. So worldwide, if those numbers are correct. So that's where we come up with the 1 million lives. And so we look forward to this decade, because this decade is going to require a lot of work. And so I ask you, are you in? Are you in on this mission? Are you in for the change? Are you in to do the work that's necessary? Are you in to have people say bad things to you? How are you in to have people in this industry that not like what you stand for? Because it will happen. Are you in to have, good days? Are you in to have bad days? Are you, will you show up every single day with your water safety message? Will you do your part and make a point to speak to somebody, one new person a day in 2020? If, there's roughly 18 people that are part of our Facebook group right now. There's over 60 people that are members of the Kelsey Code. I have reached my podcast and my website and everything that I do reached over 1 million people. Think about it. If we could have, everybody talk to one person a day. So if there's 10 people here that talk to one person a day, that we're going to affect 10 people, multiply that by, 365 days. We could change 365 or 3,650 lives this year. And that is just with 10 people. What if we had 100? What if we had 1,000? That's why I say we need more boots on the ground. If we had 1,000 people talking, we could change 365,000 people's lives this year. If we had 100,000, now we're changing, what's that? Now we're getting someplace. We're changing 3.6 million. Okay. And, if we had 1 million people talking to one person a day, we're going to change 365 million. That's the population of the United States. That is the power in numbers. That is the power of people that are pissed off with the way things are and the way things have been, and they're ready to make the change and do the work and show up every day. That's why I'm here today with you to have coffee. But as you talk with your friends today, wish them Happy New Year, but let them know what you're about. Let them know what your goal is. Let them know how you're going to change the world, because people want to be with people that want to change the world. So let's go out and change the world, people. Get yourself your coffee. Have a great New Year's. Watch some football. Do whatever it is that you do. And I will do whatever I do. We'll be back tomorrow with a new segment of our Facebook Live coffee break here at the Kels Code. So enjoy your day, and we will see you on the second day of the new year. Okay? All right. Hang on a second, because I got to find the button. Here we go. Yeah, I got this new Zoom app, so still working on it, still learning about it. So it's getting better. So anyways, guys, have a great day. We'll see you. All right. We're going to go ahead and end our meeting here today. So guys, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Enjoy the day. Reach out to me, rick@thekelsgroup.com, if you need some help or whatever. But thank you for watching today. We'll see you guys.